Hey, what is up, Voice community? This is Charles with the Voice Podcast. So, thanks for tuning in. And, when it comes down to our podcast episodes and guests, one of the things that I like to provide value about is how do we build a system? How do we build communities? How do we build our businesses or brands to the best level that we can? And when I have guests involved in here, I always think about what kind of value they can provide for anybody who's listening. So I actually got an opportunity to invite Sky, owner of Happy Place Eatery.
Yep.
Right? And as well as we deliver liquor. So he's been killing the game. I've seen a lot of his posts, and he has a team around him. I met him at what's that one event at Topa? Was it Topa Topa?
Yeah, it was an event that Mambo and I put together with getting all the creators together.
Yes.
And influencers. Yeah, cool. That was at the Topa Topa on Colt Street.
There we go. Yeah, I remember that time. So I was just impressed by how you created, the event and system. And you mentioned a couple of the people that was involved working with you. And, I knew that when I launched this podcast again, I wanted to bring you on board, just talk about and just get to know how you go about your business and some of the things that you're building. Because I think it would be interesting for a lot of the audience to just hear about yourself. So to start this thing, for anybody who doesn't know about you, can we get a little bit of introduction about who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Sky Center, local entrepreneur. I've had Happy Place Craft Beer, Wine, and Spirits for almost 20 years, 19 years now. I launched Happy Place Eatery just recently. Happy Place Craft Beer, Wine, and Spirits used to be called Sam's Adequate Liquor, is the name everybody knew it by.
Yes.
And then about 2 years ago, I changed the name and recently started marketing the new name and kind of changed the logos and everything else.
Right.
I'm a local entrepreneur. I've been in Ventura County since I was 2 years old.
Nice.
And particularly in East Ventura is where I grew up and kind of where I was raised.
Okay.
And now I live in Oxnard.
Okay, cool. So before you started, what's Happy Place? What were you doing before that?
So I've had it for 19 years. Before that, so I bought it 19 years ago. Before it, I was doing sales. So I worked for Circuit City.
Okay.
I worked in cell phone sales. I was wireless manager at a wireless company, and I ran a really large area. It was basically all of San Diego, Irvine, Murrieta, that whole area. Wow. I did that for a while, and then the company, long story short, the company lost its contract with Best Buy because Best Buy decided to do its own in-house cellular.
Interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and then when that fell through, I kind of came home and I was kind of upset because I'd put so much time and energy. For sure. I took that market from last in the nation to number one in the nation.
Wow.
In 3 months. And I'm finally ready to rock out and enjoy my time because it was working 80, 90 hours a week just to bring it up to par, right?
Yeah, interesting.
But when you're in a market running it so low, you got to put in more energy just to get it there. So I did that, and by the time I was done bringing it to number one in the nation, all of a sudden, I found out that our contract with Best Buy ended, but I wasn't aware of it, and I relocated to San Diego for it.
Wow.
So then I came back, and I was just kind of over working for somebody else, and at that moment, I just knew I needed to do something else.
Gotcha. So then what sparked that interest? You know what? Hey, let me start my own business. Because oftentimes a lot of people just look for another job. But you took the approach to decide, hey, I want to start my own business.
I have a kind of different upbringing. My parents were entrepreneurs.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
My parents came from India. My dad came here in 84. So when he came here, he was already an entrepreneur. He had the entrepreneurial mindset. He was already working for other people, but yet saving money and learning the business. And the Happy Place Craft Beer, Wine, and Spirits used to be owned by my dad.
Oh, okay.
So he owned the business. And after just being around the business made me want to, I knew I was going to own my own business. I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. But honestly, I had zero wants. I did not want to get into the business. I just didn't.
Why was that?
Because the way that it was ran by them wasn't my vision of what a business is.
So I imagine certain traits of the way they were operating just didn't resonate with you at some point then, right?
They say, okay, old school people, they do it this way, right? And now I'm like the old school, right? So
interesting. How old are you, for asking?
I'm 40.
40? Okay, dude, you still look younger.
Yeah. But, for me, I think the biggest thing was I needed to make it my own. I needed to do it differently.
Right.
I needed to make it fun. And at that moment, it wasn't fun. And it wasn't a place that really excited me to go to.
Right.
It was just a basic little hole in the wall that did check cashing. And we didn't have anything fun and exciting. And then eventually when I did buy it, I was able to turn it around and literally make it something that I enjoyed.
Nice. And what was your initial intent to moving forward when you actually bought that?
It was to create like a place everybody wants to come to get the things that you can't get elsewhere.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Did we have
So it's Happy Place
Happy
Craft
Place-
Beer, Wine, and Spirits.
Okay, cool.
But the handle is We Deliver Liquor.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was kind of getting it a little bit twisted.
Yeah.
So the liquor store came first.
Correct. So Happy Place was Sam Sadikoy Liquor. And then in 2000, I want to say 10, I started doing delivery service. And that's when like Instagram started popping off. So then I got the handle We Deliver Liquor because I was the first store out here to start delivering.
Nice. Okay.
So that's how we got the We Deliver Liquor handle. And we just kept the We Deliver Liquor handle because it's a good handle.
This is more for the username friendly as well, the search engine. That was smart.
Yep.
So then talk us through how that developed for you as far as it, because from my experience, when I started seeing some of your content as well, like I've never seen a liquor store market and communicate the way it does what it does the way you did.
See, I think I was a marketer at heart.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I didn't come from, even though my parents were entrepreneurs, I was an entrepreneur when I was younger. Like even in middle school and high school, I was the first kid in this whole school, in high school, as a freshman. I bought a CD burner. I was the first one in the whole school to have one.
Really?
And I was hustler. I saw my parents do it. So it was just natural for me to be an entrepreneur.
To put that out there.
But at the same time, I would say, like even when I was selling CDs, I paid attention. I listened to people, right? A lot of people think a salesperson is somebody who knows how to speak. The problem where they fuck up is it's really about somebody who knows how to listen.
Facts. Yeah.
Right? It's about listening and understanding what people want.
Absolutely.
Right? Finding out what the demand is and creating something to fulfill that demand.
Creating that value. Right.
Absolutely.
So you were a pretty good listener when it comes down to understanding the people's needs.
Absolutely. I mean, you listen to people. The thing is a lot of people, they want to talk, right? And I do too, right? But at the same time is how your goal is not to be heard.
Right.
It's to make sure when you do speak, you're speaking of value. Just like when you started this podcast right now, you said, I want to bring guests here that are going to add value to you.
For sure.
So for me, it's like if I'm having a conversation with somebody and they want to purchase something, I want to add value.
For sure.
And at the end, after I add that value, then they can make their decision which item they want to purchase.
Nice.
Right? And so I'm giving them options according to what they need and want.
Isn't that crazy though that a lot of people don't realize that the concept of sales is just understanding people's needs, and for you to understand the needs, you have to ask the right questions.
Absolutely.
You have to listen more intently, right?
Absolutely.
So now I'm curious, how did that translate in the liquor world? Because I don't know shit about, liquor in here and wine. Like, if you ask me questions on that, my knowledge is like almost little.
I think to learn anything, you have to be realistic, and you can't say I know something when you don't.
Right. Hey, voice community, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are enjoying the episode. If you're looking to amplify your voice, just like what we do here at Voice Podcast, and you want to create your own platform, we actually do have an agency called ORCA Media, where we focus on content development, social media strategies, social media development, and overall just part of your marketing strategy and how to amplify your business on social media even more. Social media management, editing, video editing, finding trends, ad management, paid media, whatever you name it, community development. So everything from that point to improve your social media. For anybody who tunes in, who decides to work with us, we're giving a promotion to anybody who signs up from here up to $250 off if you're looking to take your brand presence online much more. Would love to be able to help out. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this show. Right.
When I got in the game, I didn't know shit. All I knew is people and customer service.
Nice.
Right? So in the beginning, I built that business off of handshake relationships. You know, when I saw John coming in, I'd be like, hey, what's up, John? I used to literally run in the cooler, grab his tall can of Bud Ice, put it on or 211, and put them on the counter. But right when he walks in, he sees the stuff, and have, you know, so-and-so's cigarettes on the counter. It's just one of those things. That's how I started in that business, was about building relationships with the people. And when you genuinely do it from a good place, from the heart, people see it and they want to support you.
I think that's super cool because I can't recall the last time I went to a liquor store or any local shops that sell alcohol or any, you know, even non-liquor stuff, right? Where they can recognize people coming in repeatedly.
And the beauty is when the leader does it, then everybody on the team does it.
I can see how you lead. Okay.
So the thing is I don't expect anything out of any of my team members and my leaders to do anything if I don't do it. So if I'm in the store, you're going to expect me to give people the right customer service. I'm going to make sure they get taken care of. And when they see me do it, it's easy for them to do it. I think a lot of businesses fuck up when the leaders think that they can just walk around and not do anything and then expect everyone else to do it.
For sure. I think I also like to resonate with the idea that you should lead from the front.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, I'm just curious. I mean, in here in the Voice podcast, one of the things that we like to tackle on is like the deeper aspect of it. I'm always curious where people get these values, and you definitely have the value when it comes down to being charismatic, but at the same time also leading from the front as a leader yourself. Where do you think you got these from? Like, was it something you acquired, you learned, or?
I think I was really self-aware that I appreciated a leader that would lead that in that manner. And so when I worked in the retail world, there was a few managers I remember that did a really good job with it, and I admired it to this day.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I still remember Craig from Circuit City. As much as like we butted heads because I didn't want to do certain things, you know?
For sure.
But it was, he led by example. He still did it. And then you're like, fuck, now he's going around doing it. Now I need to go do this.
Right.
So to me, just seeing people do it, and then also seeing people that are not doing it and how you feel. So to me, it's all about feeling, right? I mean, if you feel that you're appreciated, you're wanted, and people don't treat you like lesser, I think that's the problem with that I see sometimes. So for me, I didn't want that to be the case.
Two things in there. One is self-awareness, right? And I like that you have that sense of self-awareness. You know, I can see how that's taking you a lot. And I think a lot of people that I've met who are super successful often starts with the trait of becoming self-aware, like how they feel about things and how they make other people feel.
And even you have to be self-aware what your weaknesses are, right? So I'll tell you in all of my businesses, I have the ability to jump tomorrow and start a new business. I can go do whatever. I don't have the fear of failure. I will tomorrow go do something. And by the way, I've been following your journey of, you know, being your own entrepreneur and starting your company. And I really like how you're bringing people into your life. I think that's fucking dope.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
It's cool. I'm excited to see your journey as it continues on, because that's really, you know, it's really hard to open up and let people in, you know, especially with all the drama and all the bullshit that happens, the struggles.
Oh, yeah.
When you have all this money coming in, now all of a sudden you're like, now you're relying on your business. So let me ask you, how has that process been with you?
Okay, so, I mean, a lot of the people, hopefully by the time the listeners will be listening to this thing, but for those who haven't, I quit my job 67 days ago. I'm tracking it, right? As of this podcast record today. And I've had the business for about 2 years and a couple months. Right, I started because I started doing podcasts like this, and I started to do videos, and I was like, I started learning how to create videos out of podcasts because I wanted to promote it, and then that skill turned into a service, which turned into a package,
Yeah.
and then that package is turned into my agency, and then slowly I'm building it. You know, it's not where I want to be financially, but I would say I'm really happy with how we've developed like the operation, like basically putting out the fires or strengthening the bottom part. So that's been the best process for me. Is like I like seeing things from the ground up and just building it up.
Yeah.
You know, and then same thing for my clients. When I work with clients, I'm looking at their brand, not just as like, oh, let me create content for you, but like, hey, what are things that we can communicate about your brand that will make you uniquely different and not just be a commodity?
Yeah. I think that's really important, where people forget that the reason people are going to purchase your product or your brand or whatever it is, or your service, is because of how that brand makes you feel.
For sure.
Or how you can connect to that brand. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs forget that. And they don't understand the value of what you do.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's video editing, content creation, it is vitally important these days because people all day are on their phones.
Yeah.
Right? They're intaking all the videos and all the stuff. Are they intaking your videos? Are they watching you? Are they hearing you? Are other people talking about you? And I think a lot, it's hard because it's hard for a lot of people that are business owners to make that financial commitment, because it's hard to see the results, because the results aren't just like, I invested this much and this is my return.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's building a brand.
Yeah, for sure. And what you mentioned earlier, it's how you it's about who you're trying to serve, right? And I think oftentimes, and I can see it, right? When you start a business, your intent is to make money, right? But like at the end of the day, I feel like most people who are doing really well with their business, or at least, you know, killing it out there, are often the ones who actually care who they're serving.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, you know, I'm sure there's other ways to understand that better, and there's a lot of people out there I know that are very number oriented in their business, but I feel like the it shows up.
Yeah.
Right? It shows up with the people who are building their brands and investing in it, which through content or marketing or whatever is the experience. Like even for you, the fact that you have traits that you want to take care of the customer because you're listening, and also you want to give them that experience, like that shows up a lot in the business, you know?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is where what makes a really big difference is when you start your journey, right? Everything takes so long, right? Like you're in day 67, right?
Yeah.
Right. And it may seem, oh my God, I'm over 2 months in. That ain't shit, right? Like if you really break it down, like my business, I didn't even start making money properly until like 5 years in. My first years were like paying off debt.
For sure.
You know, getting out of debt.
Right.
And I want to say it was probably 7-8 years until I really started making money.
Right.
And then even after that, it was about building a team, right? Now it's like, hey, how can I build other people that are going to be able to duplicate what I can, right? And the thing is,
Love that.
The problem though, when an entrepreneur tries to do that, they look at each one of the tasks and say, oh, well, I'm a better cash register operator. I'm a better stocker. I'm better with customer service. I'm better at ordering liquor. I'm better at ordering beer. Everything, right? But the problem is this: which motherfucker can do all those better
Than you?
by themselves? No, by themselves.
Okay.
I can't do all of those
you're right,
the best. I can do each one better. But now I have people that are in charge of certain things.
Love that.
In the business that have the ability to make their own decisions on what's right and wrong for the company, because they care about the company.
For sure.
Right? And when you give them that title and give them that, like, that respect, right? That I believe in you, I trust you,
Right.
I know you're going to make the right decision, and they treat it like their own. Right? So when you have those right people, and now all of a sudden I step back and I can start looking at the big picture, right? Not just the store, but the future endeavors that are going to happen.
Yes.
Right? Opening up the food truck. I also did other businesses that didn't succeed, that did fail. But I wasn't able to do those unless I had these people, these team members that we love each other, we treat each other well, we respect each other, and at the same time, they do that job better than I could because I can't do all those jobs.
Right. I think that's such a powerful distinction to make. It's just as owning the business, it's not just you doing it. It's how can other people do the work with you so that you can continue to expand that. And that's something I've started thinking about while I was building in the last 2 years as well. It's like, how can I duplicate this thing where I can focus on the other things to help the business grow? And tapping back into what you said too is also, not making money. Like I actually came into this mindset was like, I'm okay just breaking even. you know, if my team needs to feed and if I need to make breaks to make shit happen, I'm okay with it as long as it's going in the right direction and making sure that I'm doing the right things.
Yeah.
And eventually, with faith, knock on wood, right? The business will eventually grow to where it needs to be. And then I think that's when I can start to be, okay, cool. And even then, I still feel like it's not going to end.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I mean, the thing is, this is when you're starting even though you've had the experience for multiple years, I've seen you've been doing content. I've met you in random places working. I believe it was Persistence. Once I met you.
Yes.
I saw you there.
Yes.
A long time ago. But long story short is when you're doing it for a long period of time, then you're trying to make it a full-time thing. You're going to go through like a lot of learning. Right. There's going to be a lot of things you're going to learn, a lot of things you're going to change. And it's our job to make sure when you learn that I'm doing something wrong or I can improve on something
right.
or I'm not charging enough or I'm charging too much, whatever it is, right? Whatever, making sure your customer's getting the value, you're getting the value, make those once you know, make the decision to make those changes. Because I think most business owners fuck up, and I fucked up by not changing the things that weren't working when I knew they weren't working. Right? It's like Albert Einstein's word, it's insanity if you think something's going to change, you keep doing the same shit.
You're doing the same thing every day and expecting change.
Right? So you have to fucking make the change.
For sure.
And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned is you have to do that. So powers and numbers, the power is in numbers, right? Once you see the numbers and you see what needs to happen, you make the difference.
Absolutely.
Like in my business, I was so about the customer in the beginning, like in the store where all I cared about is making the customer happy, where I never realized that I was fucking myself up so bad because I was literally working 80, 90 hours a week in my own business, not making money because I wasn't charging a fair value, right? At the end of the day, it's value. Fair value.
Two things.
Value for the customer, value for yourself too, right? Because I could go get a job, right, in sales and kill it. But I decided I wanted my own business.
Yeah.
Now I got my own business. I wanted to make everybody happy to the point where I was giving shit away, right? And then once you add taxes, you add everything, you're just like, I can't do this. So what was beautiful is, once you realize what your weakness is, my weakness was numbers. Even though I'm really good at like numbers, and math was what I excelled in. My wife is an accountant by trade. Like that's what she went to school for. When she came in the picture, I was able to focus mainly on the business and she ran all the numbers. Right. So I did the ordering, the sales and like ideas and marketing and blah, blah, blah. I used to make little videos on Facebook and she did the numbers and she'd bring the numbers to me and show me them. And then we'd go over them. In the beginning, I was hard headed because I didn't want to change the numbers.
Right.
And she showed me and I was like, holy shit. Like, you're right.
I think that's so crazy when you start putting things in numbers. Like for me, I'm very idealistic and sometimes too, I would even say delusional on the optimistic side. But when I start putting things in numbers, you're like, oh crap, I did that. Yeah. That's so crazy though. But talk about like your new restaurant, right? Your new restaurant. You've had this wine for a while. What made you decide to pivot into serving people food in the first place?
So first of all, I want to give a shout out to a couple of friends of mine. He owns Barrel House 101.
Okay.
All right, and they have a shop out in Ojai.
Nice.
Which is a liquor store with a restaurant in it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, and when I saw that concept, like back in the day, I was like, "Yo, Joby, like this is cool."
Yeah.
Like I fell in love with that idea, and I was obsessed. One day I'm going to do it. So fast forward, where the store sits right now, the property, the 3-acre property. I eventually purchased the property.
Nice, congratulations.
Right, which happened long time ago. I rezoned it in 2010.
Okay, gotcha.
And then 2012, I got the zoning done, and I was on a mission to build something beautiful there, right? And I was like, I'm gonna do the restaurant. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And fast forward to now, I was like, you know what? I'm going to eventually do it. I'm going to eventually build this project. I'm going to need a restaurant, and I'm going to do a tap room, a wine bar, a cocktail lounge, like a full place where you can go with the whole family, whether you want to drink or you want to eat food or whatever. I wanted to create this idea. So I've been working on this concept, this idea since 2010. And now I just was like, you know what? I don't have the location built out yet. I don't have this. I want to do this. Why the fuck don't I just go open up a food truck? And one day, you know, I met with somebody and they were going to be on board and we were going to go do this thing together. And I put my money where my mouth is. And I found within 3 days of having that meeting, I already bought a food truck.
Nice.
It was within a week at least.
And how long have you had this food truck so far?
I've had it since May of last year.
Since May of last year? Okay,
so about 6 months.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've been trying to visit, but I'm just like, crap.
Oh man,
Ventura, right?
don't do it. Don't do it, man. I'm telling you, once you have that burger, it ruins burgers.
Oh man,
it really.
I've seen it. It looks real good.
You know when you know the food is good is when the owner's son, that we eat beef. My wife doesn't, but me and my son eat at the truck 4 times a week.
Oh wow.
And like my son will drop like a triple and a double. He's a little monster. He's growing. He's 12 years old. But the food, it's just so delicious. See, for me, is when I do something, I want to do it for me. Right? So I want to use the better quality meat. I want to use the better buns. I want to use the better pickles. Right? I want the better brioche bun, not the cheaper brioche bun. I want the one that I don't care about the cost. I care about the quality. Because at the end of the day, I'm not selling a burger. I'm selling a Happy Place smash burger, and the value that somebody gets out of that burger is far exceeds any other burger that they're going to have. Now, it might not be their everyday burger, but they're going to go get it every time we're at Made West or Topa Topa or Ventura Coast once a week, because that's their burger that they love.
For sure.
Right? Because when some of these places are mixing meat with a bunch of stuff to make the meat cheaper, or they're using cheaper ingredients, you can sell a cheaper quality product for a cheaper amount. So we use best ingredients that I love and I enjoy, and then we have our own sauce called the Happy Smash sauce. Wow. It's got a little spicy kick to it.
Oh, okay.
And it's delicious.
Nice.
And now we've added other stuff to the truck as well. But you know, going back to, you know, I went out, I bought the truck. I had a local artist from the lab in Sadie Koi actually paint it, and like he goes by Contra on Instagram, and he just killed it. He did all the tagging with a spray can and on the whole truck. It was beautiful. We launched it. Lucky, right? You know, with my relationships with all the breweries already, because I carried all their beer from day one.
Right.
You know, some of them I pushed them. I'm like, can it. You know, I'm like, can your beer? I'll buy a whole pallet. You know, and we've already had the relationship, so they reach out, bring your food truck here. So, you know, right, it was just one of those things. It happened so quickly, and within 30 days, not only did we launch the truck, we went to Casa Pacifica Food and Wine Festival, and out of all the top restaurants, Mastro's, Larson's, you name it, we were the only burger that placed.
Wow.
And we got 3rd place, and we were in tough competition.
With like some of the what competitors were you coming up against?
I mean, Alex Montoya,
Oh, okay.
Good friend of mine. He does Water's Edge. He does Honey Cup. I mean, love that kid. He's just like, he's so passionate about what he does.
Right.
And he just kicks ass in the kitchen. It's just like he's got the Kobe mentality in the kitchen.
Yeah. Nice.
You know, and I respect him. And he won 1st place. And just to be in his company. He's a chef. We're just a food truck that we just, our whole team together, we make the food together. You know, we're not like, there's no executive chef. I'm not executive chef.
sure.
You know, I think I don't want to call myself a chef because I'm not. You know, I'm just somebody who loves good quality stuff, and I'm willing to play around and figure it out with my team to make a good quality, you know, good quality food.
For sure. I do like the fact that you care about what kind of ingredients you have in there, because at the end of the day, you're not just selling a hamburger. I think you said it best. You're selling an experience.
Absolutely.
And the other thing I also want to tap into is when you had these other breweries, right, products in your liquor store, was it always intentional for you to push them, or was it just your intent to just building some sort of a good relationship with them?
No, so my intention is I want to support local, right? So if you're a local brewery, I want to push you. I want to help you.
Right.
Right. Now, the thing is, you know, tastes are subjective, right? So I'm not the one to say, yo, hey, this brewery I don't like it, so I'm not going to carry it.
Right.
That's stupid, right?
Yeah.
That's like somebody's saying spicy stuff is horrible. I don't want it. I don't like your burger because it's spicy. It's not for you. It's not made for you. So just understanding that there's different palates, there's different breweries. They all do something different. I would be open to bringing all of them in because they're local. Luckily, we've got some of the best breweries in the United States of America.
Okay.
I mean,
Interesting.
I'm right here in Ventura County. We have the GABF, the Great American Beer Festival. We had so many medals, gold medals, silver medals from local breweries out here that were crushing it.
Wow.
So that made it easy.
Yeah.
And for me, I listen to the customers. I see what they want, and I bring in what type of styles and what beers they want.
Interesting. Yeah, I have seen a lot of breweries around here. They have a lot of like audience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy, you know, and some of the ones that you're working with. So shout out to that, you know.
Yeah. You know, the beer scene, the beer communities, it's big, right? I mean, when I started doing craft beer in the store, a lot of people were like, "The hell are you doing? Why are you doing this stuff? This stuff is a gimmick. It's going to be here today, gone tomorrow, right?" And now it's a dozen, you know, years later, and they're thriving. They're doing really well.
Yeah, they
all
are.
these local breweries are doing really well. I mean, been huge success out of all of them. So, you know, I support them. I enjoy going to these breweries, and you know, they're just amazing people. They're amazing businesses, and it's nice to have something local that we get to drink and say, hey, this is made here in our backyard.
Love it. I gotta ask, you know, because I'm actually a whiskey / IPA kind of beer guy myself. What's your go-to?
So with whiskey, I love.
And granted, I don't know too much, but I'm curious to see how you articulate about this thing.
So for me, it's about what kind of mood I'm in.
Okay.
Like, what am I trying to drink? So my favorites are tequila and whiskey.
Okay.
So in whiskey, some of my favorites are our personal barrel picks. So for the audience and people that are listening, what that means is when we get to actually taste the juice, the whiskey out of one single barrel.
Right.
Because what you're normally drinking is a blend of a bunch of different barrels.
For sure.
Right? To keep the consistency. But for me, I love to be able to try the single barrels. And then out of the single barrels, whichever ones we like the most are the ones that I'm like, oh shit, this one's great.
Nice.
If me, Travis, and Garrett, all three of us combined think that this barrel is the best unanimously, then we're going to buy that whole barrel.
Okay, interesting. Okay, curious. It seems like you have a lot of experience. You have a lot of experience with, you know, liquor, wine, and all these other drinks, right? For consumers out there, I mean, how can we better experience liquor and all these other drinks in different motions?
I would say couple of the biggest, right? So since we're talking about whiskeys and hard liquor first, I would say the number one thing is learn how to drink it correctly.
And how do we drink it correctly?
Correctly, right? Because the problem is we were growing up drinking crap, and you're like throwing back shots.
Yeah, you're
and
trying to get the drunken, right?
Yeah, right. So the number one thing is when you're drinking something nice, you want to make sure you know how to smell it properly.
Okay.
Right. So not only, you know what we're gonna do is when somebody's listening to this podcast, that same time they're listening to this, they can go to our mutual page.
Okay.
On your Instagram and our Instagram at We Deliver Liquor.
Right.
And we're going to do this as a video, collaborative video, and we're going to post it on how to drink.
Okay.
So they'll actually, because we can only
like that.
say it.
Yeah.
We're going to do a video and we're going to post it on how to do it.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
So-
let me in. Oh.
So then what we'll do that. But one of the biggest things is you want to experience it. It's from the nose. It's from your initial taste. It's from the finish. There's so many different things, and we'll go through all of that.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me in.
it's really cool because I'm also, the Tequila and Taco Festival. I usually I've been in charge of the tequila judging competition.
Oh, wow.
So I get to show people how to do it right.
No way. Oh,
And then
that's
sometimes
awesome.
we'll have guest judges and
Nice.
comedians come by to be a judge too.
Yeah.
So I'll teach them how to do it. So we'll do that together on Instagram and post it.
Oh,
but
all for
it's
it.
an experience. And one of the biggest things I tell people is make sure you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. When people cough, it's usually because they're breathing back in through their mouth. All the alcoholic fumes are coming out of your mouth, and you're breathing them right back in.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay.
So that would be my number one tip. And then if anybody wants to know more tips, we'll make a couple of dope videos. And by the time they're listening to this, they could check us out at
Okay.
We Deliver
Yeah.
Liquor
Cool.
or on Charles Creates.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for sharing some of that stuff. I think even for me, I feel like I'm such a novice when it comes on drinking stuff. Like if I look at a menu, I'll be like, yeah, just what do you recommend? It's the first thing I would ask, But I enjoy it. I want to experience stuff. My sister started getting into wine. For me, like my brother-in-law would show me whiskeys. I was like, sure, let me try it. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to get the experience. I'm starting to enjoy it, not just
Drink it to get fucked up.
and get fucked up. Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm for example, yesterday we had Mac in here he bought tequila.
Oh,
and I
nice.
was like, okay, I was actually tasting it. It's actually really good. I don't know if I was doing it right, but I feel like that experience is missed out from the liquor and wine and whiskey. So that's something I definitely want to learn a little bit more. So that'll be cool when we do that collaboration.
And you know what? And then also come by the shop. And or anybody who's listening, if you're in the Ventura County area, swing by Happy Place Craft Beer, Wine and Spirits. My manager, my assistant manager, the staff, they really enjoy the products that we have. We have a huge selection, but their job is to make sure they can help you narrow down what's the best product for you.
That's
right.
cool.
I think that's another thing is they help you narrow down by understanding what you like. So if you like hazies, we have a whole section.
I like hazies.
Right, of all hazies. Right, so we have say like 200-300 hazy options for you to pick from.
Wow.
If you like West Coast, or if you like lagers, or you like sours, stouts, like we have them all. And then what we can do is hey, if you like hazies, we recommend try one of these three because we have beers that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Interesting.
Right, you
There we
may
go.
have a dozen retailers in California that carry some of the beers that we do. That's it. In this area, it might be us, maybe one other place, and then a couple of cool tap rooms out here that have it, but it's really limited. So when you go there, you want to ask, hey, what do you guys have that you really love in a style that Charles likes?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then once you like it or you don't like it, because see, the thing is, some people get upset when they buy something that they don't like. To me, I know I don't like it. I know I don't like that style or I don't like that actual brewery. So I'm going to move to the next one. So that's why we also offer people to be able to buy single cans. So you can mix and match 12 cans, 6 cans, 4 cans, 2 cans, doesn't matter, 1 can, just so that you don't buy a 4-pack and regret it later.
Nice. I also like that your page for We Deliver Liquor, you guys have a bunch of videos talking about the different drinks and and experiencing and not just opening it. Like you guys are literally products of the product.
We love what we do. The guys love to do the videos. They enjoy drinking the products, and half the time we're doing those R&D videos, we're literally coming up shit on the fly.
Those are R&D videos?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought this was okay.
No, they're literally some of them. They'll either have customers DM us and say, "Hey, try this, do this."
That's awesome.
So if you jump in the DMs, be like, "Hey guys, can you make this drink?" Or "I love bananas. Can you make a drink with bananas?" and they'll literally jump on the video, shout you out, and make a video with bananas.
That's super cool. I just appreciate that as someone who does content and works with other brands like that. I like when a brand can articulate about the things that they sell, as opposed to just a business selling it just because they can make money out of it.
At the end of the day, we don't want to be just a place that you stop by and pick up something.
Experience.
It's an experience. You're walking into our home, and we want to educate you. We want you to enjoy the experience of buying the product, of making the decision on what product you want to buy.
Love that. All right, cool. I'm motivated to go check you guys out.
Yeah,
now.
man.
Okay, so the other thing you just recently launched, right? There was something exciting that you just opened up. Like, talk us a little bit more about that.
Are you talking about the post of what were you talking about?
You guys opened up a place, right?
No, actually, so we haven't opened the place yet. So
okay, it's in the process.
Yeah. So
can we dive into a little bit of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought it was open actually.
Oh no, I wish it was open. That's been my dream for a long time. So what we're doing is in Saticoy, that 3-acre property where the store sits, we own the property. We got it rezoned. We've been working really hard on trying to develop it. So we finally decided that, hey, we talked to the board of supervisor, Matt Levere, and we talked to him about the development when he was the mayor of Ventura. And he says, I think this is amazing. We need this. Everyone's asking for a place to eat, a fun spot to bring your family, and a good atmosphere. And this would be wonderful for not just Saticoy, but all of East Ventura.
Wow, okay.
Right. So, and then he became the board of supervisor. When he became the board of supervisor, he actually asked me, he's like, hey, you know what? I like where your heart is for the community. You've always been a part of Saticoy. I grew up in the area, went to preschool there. He's like, I want you on the board of Saticoy. Wow. So then as I took that position to be on the board, I'm now on the Saticoy Mac City Council.
Nice, congratulations!
And thank you. It's a wonderful thing to do for our community to help out, and then just listening to a lot of people that I talk to, being on the board and just being in the community. They're just like, hey, we really need a place where we can go hang out. There's nothing. There's really nothing. I mean, the only cool spots that from there is like either go downtown or go to the collection. You know,
that's true.
You're just kind of like
interesting.
So
you're creating this big experience of people to come around and expand the options for Ventura County.
Yeah,
and it's in Saticoy too. That's such a small part of like Ventura and / Oxnard.
Yeah, so the thing is, it is unincorporated, so it's not in Ventura, it's not in Oxnard, but it's in the middle of everything.
Right.
So if you have a friend in Santa Paula, you're in Oxnard, right? Somebody else is in Ventura, be like, hey, let's all go get a beer. Let's go here because it's 7 minutes from all of us.
Deal. I'm bringing a friend.
Right?
Someone's in Santa Paula, I'll tell them to meet there.
Exactly.
Once it's ready.
Yeah.
I got you.
So it's going to be about 2.5 years, 3 years when it's done.
Okay.
But now the plans are in there, and in the plans, what we have is I literally took that idea and that dream that they created in Ojai Beverage Company is what it's called. I'm designing a 5,000 square foot store with a restaurant in it. Behind it, there's containers that's going to have cocktail lounge. It's going to have beer and wine. It's going to have multiple tenants. So I'm going to have other food purveyors there. So together we can give an experience to everyone. So say somebody's a vegan. Yeah, I want a vegan spot there, right? Say somebody likes tacos. We'll bring a taco place. Right. Hot chicken. Okay, we'll bring a hot chicken place. So, we'll have multiple options, multiple drinking options, and just a fun outdoor experience because our weather is so beautiful out here.
It is, yeah.
Saticoy was rated, Ventura County in general was rated so high, but in Saticoy I think it was National Geographic rated like top 5 weathers of the world.
Interesting.
Because we're away from the marine layer. But we're close enough to get the cool breeze.
Right. That's awesome. Interesting.
And the Saticoy in Chumash Indian means protected by the wind.
Really?
So weather-wise, you get some of the best weather in the world right here in our backyard.
Wow.
And to be able to make something outdoorsy, something that's going to create jobs, create opportunity for people, as well as is have a place you could bring your family. Because the thing is, this is you go downtown and it's not made. Most of the places, if you go in the evening, you don't feel like you could bring your family. It's
right.
Yeah, you have restaurants that you can in the daytime, but for us, we wanted to build a family fun experience, and now it's we've submitted the plans, so they're with the county's hands right now.
Nice.
We're going to be going back and forth over the next 6 months to a year to get all that finalized, and then hopefully in 3 years we're going to break ground.
That's super awesome. And talk about the future of the community too, because it looks like what you're bringing is not just an experience, it's to bring other people together as well, such as other businesses.
Absolutely.
Especially in here in Ventura County, such a foodie.
Yep.
So like where that's projected, it looks like it's going to be able to bring a lot of new businesses together and people.
Absolutely. And I think the other really cool part about it is me being a landlord and being an entrepreneur that's done it, that
relate.
Understands the food restaurant, understands a liquor store restaurant.
Right.
Not only can I relate to the tenants to make sure that they're going to be successful,
right?
But I come from a marketing background. Like that's really where, like I've been doing marketing since I started.
Love
right?
that.
I branded myself as, yo, it's Sky, the CD guy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
This is, back in the day, I went by my legal name, which is Guggen. Everyone said, hey, Goggin sells the CDs, right?
Yeah.
So everybody knew that I was a CD guy. I branded myself that. Because once you give yourself the brand that you're the guy that does this, and people say that's what you need. That's the validation. And now what happens with that is everyone comes to you for that, you know? So I'm really excited to be working with other entrepreneurs that have the recipe for success, that just need a little bit of sprinkle on top and need the right location to do it.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be really, really fun. And then even bring local talent,
for sure,
artists.
That's another opportunity too. There's a lot of talent in here.
Yeah, and it's not going to be like a raging, like loud music, but hey, if we get people there singing, that's not the direction I'm going.
Gotcha.
I'm really going family friendly atmosphere, because being a father of my son, I love going to the breweries because I get to take him. I can take him. I can have a couple of beers.
Right.
We can have some food.
It's not like a bar.
We can chill out. Yeah, it's just he can run around, have fun. He can talk to people. And
that's awesome. Kid friendly and also adult friendly.
And I feel like that's what a lot of Venturians want and Oxnardians want. Like we want something where once you get to that age where you're like, hey, I want to take my kids. Now, if I can't take my kids, and no, I don't want to go. When you're younger, you want to go to the club, you're trying to hook up and trying to do all that. But later on, once you have kids and you get older, you're just like, hey, I want to spend my money somewhere where I can bring my family.
I think you're making a good point there, Scott. I mean, to be honest, now I see what you mentioned about, you like to listen to what people are talking about because, I think as Ventura County is growing, people move here to build families.
Yep. And it's funny, I was just talking to the owner of this brand new fusion Indian restaurant in downtown.
Sounds familiar.
It's called Cap. Damn it! Now I can't remember the name, but it's like Cappy Cat something. But they do really good dosas. They have different chais and stuff. So we went there and the food was actually pretty good. So I did like it. We had this long conversation with them. Him and his wife were from the LA, and they moved here because they just had a daughter. They're like, we want to get out of LA.
Right.
So
okay. So they're thinking about going out here.
They already did. They already opened up a business out here because
they're already there established. Okay.
Yeah, it's because they wanted to get away from LA, come to a town like Ventura County. So you already see it, it's happening. And then a lot of the baby boomers, their kids are now growing up like myself.
Yeah, in here.
They're in their mid 30s, and so for them, they're all having kids now. So you want a place that's inviting to them.
Wow,
which is going to be different. Like if you go to the breweries, go to Topa Topa on Sunday. Go to Topa Topa on Cole Street on Sunday. Come by our food trucks there as well. And you'll see how many families are there hanging out with the kids running around, enjoying beer.
Interesting.
and having food and just doing it all responsibly, and everyone's having a good time.
Cool. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, I like that. I mean, talk about, building foundations for the future. I mean, you certainly have that. I mean, like I said, I can see what you mentioned about you being a listener. And not just that, I think you're in it for the people too.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is it's not ever about money, right? You don't do things, at least for me, and obviously we need money to pay bills, to live a lifestyle.
Right.
But at the end of the day is like, you can give somebody all the money in the world, they're not going to be happy. But if you're doing something like for a cause, you're trying to help people. Right. Like I want to help other people get wealthy. You know what I'm saying? That. Like it took me a long time to get to where I'm at. Right. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize when that happened because I was just so worried with my head down, working hard. Then you realize you step back and you're like, holy shit. Wow. Like it took a conversation with my cousin to be like, yo, bro, like really? Like, and when I was like, I'm hard on myself, I'm like, man, I'm not there. Because you're always just trying to move forward. Yep. I think it's not even about the money. It's about how can I be better tomorrow? Better tomorrow than I was yesterday. Right. And I think that's the biggest struggle, when you're an entrepreneur and when you're motivated to move your community forward and yourself forward. What can I do to outdo myself? For sure. And that's a conversation to have with myself daily. Yep. And still to this day, I'm like, dude, like, okay, did you actually get shit done? One is like the accountability, right? Yeah. Like, did you actually get shit done? Two is, are you too hard on yourself? Yeah. Like those are like two metrics that's for me. I've been kind of still figuring out how to balance. How do you go about that, in a day-to-day life? I'm sure you have way more experience, that you're more kinder to yourself, right? But I feel like I don't know, maybe I'm just talking about myself, but I'm sure other people can relate, where at a young age building your business, you're so hard on yourself. I'm so hard on myself as well. And sometimes I'll go through, and the thing is you'll go through funks too, right? True. You're like, the thing is when everything is going great, like you can't be hard on yourself because you're like, everything's going great. Okay. And then the moment, and when everything's going great, you're kind of like, there's no chaos. I'm not happy. Right? You feel me? Yeah. You're like, everything's going good. Yeah. What the fuck? Like, I feel like I'm not needed. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up, right? Like, I feel like I'm not needed. Like, everything's running without me now. Yeah. Like, I feel like through COVID, like, everything was kind of running, like, and everything's doing really well. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, I'm, like, depressed. That's so funny because I also feel like I remember when I was working at my job, like I loved the fact that I was just doing multiple things at once. I kept keeping busy, and when I didn't, I felt like a piece of shit. Yeah, like I was depressed. Yeah, it's weird. And then right now, like with the economy, the recession, with the weather's been crazy. I mean, it's kind of cool to see snow in the mountains, right? That's dope, right? Especially in Ventura County, for sure. So that's beautiful. But at the end of the day, is like business, like for the store, January, February was terrible because of all the snow, all the rain, all the water, and bad weather means people, aren't driving as much. They're not drinking as much because it's not hot, whatnot. So even though the store wasn't doing as good, it never does good in January. Then people do dry January, that screws shit up, and all the January. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even think about that. Mama didn't raise no quitter. You can't be quitting, baby. No. Yeah. But anyhow, right? So like at that time, like that happened, and now it's like, hey, now let's figure this out. How can we like take the business to the next level? Right. So now there's that excitement of fixing problems. So like I'm excited right now because I'm like trying to take what we built and go higher. Now, how do we come back in March and this summer and kill it and overall make our total year numbers better, even though January, February was terrible. You know what I mean? The excitement of that. Now, in the food truck, it was just like my whole vision with the food truck was this is a marketing vehicle. It's a way of building a brand, let people know that, hey, our food is fucking for real. Right? It's for real and you're going to love it. Right? That was the goal. And just put it out there, be everywhere and build a brand. Right? It wasn't even about making money. right? It wasn't about, hey, I want to make a lot of money off of this food truck. It was as long as we break even, like we were talking about there. Hey, bro, hey, as long as we break even, we good. Yeah. And 6 months in, and not only we broke even, I haven't paid back my initial investment, but the business is now profitable. It's making money, and it's exciting. And it's making money in a shitty time of year.
Okay, interesting.
So when my bread and butter business is like hanging on, right, just through the months, right? Because it does. Every year, January, February is slow, but this year was worse. Now the food truck's killing it because the word's getting out. People talking about the food. They're like, holy shit.
They're going to talk about, hey, doesn't he have a liquor store too? Like
they do, and it helps because they both have the same name. Happy Place Eatery, Happy Place Craft Wine and Spirits. There's that brand identity. It goes back to it's going back to what we were talking about earlier. It's about, you know, what you do in your profession, right? In your hustle is help people brand their business.
Yes.
What they're doing.
Yes.
And if I hadn't branded my business the way I have, my success at the store wouldn't be there. Neither would the eatery. The eatery would be eating shit. You know, we couldn't hang on. But because of the branding, the marketing, people already like love our store. Like we're the popular store in Ventura County. Like if you ask people, hey, what's the dope spot to go to?
For sure.
You know, they're going to mention Happy Place Craft Wine and Spirits, or they might say Sam Saticoy Liquor, which is the old name. But, you know, which is totally fine, you know, because that's, for some people, we're always going to be.
That was the name before?
Yeah. Okay. There are going to be, some people are going to say Saticoy Liquor, Sam Saticoy Liquor. That's totally fine. You know, but our vision was to excel and now start duplicating the store and the eatery and start making more of these. And I can't do that with a name like Sam Saticoy Liquor. As much as I love Saticoy, and it was hard for me to drop the Saticoy name out of it, it was really fucking hard.
Why is that? Just because you lived in it for your most of your life, or?
I love Saticoy.
Okay.
Right? I don't want to like take that away from it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it was one of those things is to move forward and to start popping up stores everywhere.
I gotta ask, how did you come up with the name Happy Place Winery or Happy Place Liquor and then Happy Place Eatery?
So on Happy Place's Instagram, no, not Instagram, it was on Yelp. Somebody put a review up and said, it's one of the dopest like reviews. It was like 4 pages long, and at the end,
I love that.
And at the end, after all this shit, it was like
that's how you know you're giving a brand experience,
right? And the person just like, holy shit, like. I would like it just funny, but it was very creative. It was like a dope ass post. And then right at the bottom, it said, "This is my happy place." And then I looked at that and I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? I was like, this is my happy place. And so Sam is my dad's name. So I didn't want to put Sam in it because it's just, there's too many Sams. Right? And I was like, fuck, I love the Happy Place. And my mom's name's Happy.
Interesting.
That's her nickname. So I was like, oh shit, we just got her name.
Yeah, that's cool.
And after that, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. And it took me about a year to actually pull the trigger just because I didn't want to get rid of the name Saticoy.
That's freaking cool. I love that. That's a great story to have. I'm glad I captured it in a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pivot a little bit, Sky. Besides your winery and your restaurant and this location for the family in Saticoy you're building, what are some other projects you might be working on that you're excited about?
I think the expansion of the Happy Place brand in general is really my focus. I think in the past, as an entrepreneur, I've tried really hard to do other projects.
Right.
Because I always want to be, hey, I want to do what's next. As an entrepreneur,
Right.
you always,
for sure.
You kind of almost get bored of what you're doing and you want to do something else.
Oh, yeah. You want to have your hands on all many things all at once, you know?
Yeah, you got that itch too, right? And
I'm trying, especially as a marketer. I love different platforms and, testing things out, but no. Yeah.
So for me, it's like, hey, I need to be laser focused on the Happy Place brand. So that means the store. That also means the truck. That also means the project that we're going to do, the land development. But it is built for us.
For sure.
So that's my main focus. If it doesn't have to do with real estate and it doesn't have to do with Happy Place, I'm pretty much not going to focus on it.
That's awesome.
I love marketing. I launched a marketing company, and it was just one of those things that I was having difficulty. It's really difficult and really hard, and I respect anybody like yourself that's in this field.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, it is.
But more importantly, you're not appreciated by the people who need you the most.
For sure.
Like, you literally, there's people that fucking need your services, but they don't understand they need your services.
I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's because they don't get it. And I'm a marketer from heart. I'm a marketer because that's what I've been doing, right? And the reason our store does the numbers it does and the eatery's grown the way it is because of my marketing mindset. Because not only am I the idea guy, I come up with ideas. I come up with the creativity. I also surround myself with other people that have great creativity. And I kind of show them kind of what I want to do. And I let them... I let them kind of just run with their ideas too, as long as they understand, hey, this is my focus. This is what I want to do. And building that team around, it's really been helping us out. And as much as I would love to really go back and push the Circle Media Group and explode that, I'm still running it, but I'm only running the media for myself.
Gotcha.
Because it's easy for me to be convinced to spend $3-4 grand a month on marketing.
For sure.
Because I understand the value of it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, I'm going to charge myself and I'm going to hire my own company.
Nice.
And I'm only going to focus on me right now.
Love that.
And my whole thing is if I get the results that I know I'm going to get, later on, I may relaunch it for other people. But right now, it's just mainly for me and my businesses and what my endeavors are right now.
Yeah, I think even then, I mean, at some point, that's a good focus. I think you're definitely going to explode the business with that laser focus. But even then, I think if you come back into it, I think you'd kill it.
Thank you.
Just seeing how you think and how you look at things. Yeah. So the only thing I would say probably is that it would probably require you to invest how to structure that.
Yep.
Right? Because that was my problem with my agency, which like, okay, well, this worked, this didn't work. All right, I work with this contractor, this type of contract doesn't work for me. All right, cool. This service doesn't work. I literally went from like, let me offer graphic designs and maybe even websites. And I was like, nope, let's just make it about social media.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I think one of my failures with doing the Circle Media Group was my vision was so big, and as great of a salesperson as I am, I couldn't sell anybody on understanding. Because the thing is this is when you're at like where I'm at, right, compared to somebody who's just getting started, right? Not to say anything who's better or whatever, but when I'm at a financial level that, I've been able to do certain experiences and things due to my hard work, what my businesses have created, and seen what I want for my future and how big that business can be. And my vision is so big. Sometimes it's difficult to convey that to somebody else and for them to believe it and work as hard as you are on accomplishing that goal. I think that was my major weakness. And maybe what I should have done is I should have calmed down a little bit and just kind of focused like little by little and shown them the progress of those little movements.
Right.
And not let them in on the full detail of what's going on in the back of my head. Right. And then I think a lot of things would have been a lot more successful because my problem isn't getting clients. Right, which that's normally most people's number one problem.
For sure.
Right. My problem was getting the talent to be consistent, understand what needs to be done, and I didn't understand everything that the talent needed. But I tried to have that open communication and say, hey, what exactly do you need for success?
Right.
Right. Do you need more money? Do we need to buy more stuff?
For sure.
Do you need more talent?
Gotcha.
Right?
That makes sense.
But a lot of those decisions that people gave me said, hey, I think we need to do this. So I went out and hired more people.
Gotcha.
But not enough shit was getting done with that extra money.
Right.
I could have gave that money to another person, gave them more money and doubled their money, and all they needed to do was double, triple the output, right? If they needed more money, great. That's not a problem.
Right.
But the problem is there's miscommunication. I was bad at listening and understanding what they wanted because they couldn't express exactly what they wanted.
Oh, hey, I gotta say, Sky, that's pretty bold for you to come out and understand exactly what your weaknesses were and to identify that. You know, like I said, even the fact that you can articulate on this thing, just so you, if you ever decide to go in that direction as well, I think you would kill it. And even then, you know, if you ever need my help on my end, just my advice from my brain, open
Hey, I
book
appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You know, because I think one of the things that that personally I do is I listen to everybody, right? I can learn from anyone in any field, even my own competition, right? I can have a conversation with them, and we can both help each other out.
For sure. I think there's so much value in having the right conversation with someone who does the same thing or something similar.
Yep.
Because then you can learn from each other and what's working, what's not working, and maybe even then you could, you know, cross-reference things. Like, for example, I have another person who does almost the same as I do, but I know the fact that I can't take on this type of work. I would rather send that person there because I can't take it on. I want to make that person happy first.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then when you need help and you got a bigger project and you need more people, you can call them to be like, hey, I got this gig. Can you be a sub for me?
Those are things I'm learning from my other friends and even my mentor or my partner too. We're partnering up in this agency as well. So it's an exciting thing to see that as well, and it's a value that I've already kind of incorporated. And just knowing, oh, okay, other people do the same thing. Okay, so I'm not all alone after all.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there's so many struggles everybody deals with. I think the problem is people aren't open about it to talk about it
for sure
and let people know they're having an issue, because if somebody doesn't know you're having an issue, they can't help you solve it.
It's kind of hard to
right. And I think the ego and this whole mindset of, oh yeah, I'm kicking ass in my business and everything is perfect, but then on the inside you're like, that ain't true.
Yeah.
You know, and I think for me it's easy for me to just be straight up about a lot of shit is because I like to be transparent. Like, why the fuck should I act like everything is perfect when it's not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's real key. Even from my team, I tell them, you know, hey, like, listen, even if they're just freelancers working per project at any time they can, I let them know, hey, listen, if there's something you can't do, just let me know. I'd rather you be honest than me putting on pressure and then all of a sudden it just doesn't work out and then you beat yourself up for it or something like that, you know? And on the other spectrum, actually, my project assistant, we were just talking about how, hey, certain clients are wanting certain things. Let's kind of audit how we're doing. I've set up the system to communicate better, but I don't know how they're doing. So we're in the process right now, basically trying to see and get more feedback for how our operations are, or how is it for them ultimately, you know. So
and that's great that you're focusing on that, right? It's all systems, right?
Yeah.
Because once you create better systems, and that makes your workflow smooth, it makes the communication better. And just having all those tools that you create and understand it. And that also is going to reduce the amount of time that you guys spend because you have a system. You know what to do.
For sure. And it's something I'm learning too, you know, like, I mean, I've never built like a crazy business, you know, like I've been in other business ventures, but not like successful business. So right now it's an interesting process to learn how to balance things out.
And I think some people don't value being in failing businesses enough. I think some of my biggest failures, one of them was the Bloody Cure, right? Which was a michelada mix that we exploded out here. You know Mambo from Q.
Yeah.
So me and him launched it. It didn't succeed the way I wanted it to.
Right.
Probably because I tried to wear too many hats. There's too much to get done, and there was problems that needed attention, and my optimism kept thinking, oh, it's going to be fine. This company's going to come through. They're going to come through. They're going to come through. And it just took too long before we found another manufacturer to manufacture a product
right.
that I got burned out financially. everyone else thought like, hey, Sky's making millions of dollars off of this because it was everywhere, right? Vaughn's, Albertsons,
Really?
Winco. Like, we were in 500 stores in California.
Wow.
And, I sit back now and I see like, hey, and now if I was to redo it, I know what I would do, what I wouldn't do, what I would change, the excitement of like launching the brand and doing it. It was great. But obviously I made a lot of mistakes, and now looking back at it, I'm like, I'm thankful for that experience.
For sure.
Because now moving forward, it's like those same mistakes, as long as you don't make them again, those failures are the reason you're going to succeed in life.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people don't value that, and which is probably why also they are afraid to take jumps and risk and other things in life, because they're afraid of experiencing things like that. When in reality, like the way I see things in life is that there is no loss or wins, right? It just is. The process is just moving.
See, the problem is as children, most of us have been trained not to take risks.
Yeah.
Right? That's why, like,
Yeah,
if somebody's
school.
about to fall or something, they're like ready to stop you. Anything's happening, they're going to protect you. And the problem when you launch your business is everybody in your circle is giving you advice that they would give to themselves. Right? And that is like, hey, this isn't good for me. It would fuck me up. I don't think this is good for you. You're going to work really hard and you're going to probably fail.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to do this because I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Oftentimes.
And when people, the problem is they're not coming from a bad place. They're just coming from a different place. And when you realize that what's right for you is not right for them.
Right.
You're two different human beings. Your drives are different. What gets you up in the morning is different. And if you have the ambition not only to work hard when things are going good, but when things are bad, to fucking try even harder and figure out how the fuck am I going to get out of this?
Wow. That is, there's a lot of things to break down in there, especially when it comes down to just understanding that, hey, listen, like you're gonna need to be okay with the failure anyways, and it's part of the process. It's supposed to make you who you are. And, I think a lot of people undervalue that experience, and I think that's why it prevents them from moving forward with different decisions. Because who knows? Like, the way I see it is that you don't know if you're going to be right or wrong, but after it, you might. Then you can get a better decision. That's kind of how I do things with some of the strategies that I learned for my clients. It's like, I don't know if this thing works, but then if I try, then I'll figure out.
Absolutely. And even when I do any marketing strategies for my business, right, I'll come up with 3 different styles, 3 different things, try them all out. Whichever one works.
That's where the marketing is coming in.
Right? So whichever one works, I'm going to push that one.
Love that.
Right? I'm going to push the one that worked. Now, I know this worked. So when I put $1,000 in ad spend, I'm going to put it on the one that worked, on the platform that it worked, because it was created for that platform.
Right.
The people don't really understand how much the brainstorming and the creativity of what you're producing for the channel you're producing makes a difference. Because if your audience is an older audience, you want to be on Facebook creating content and putting out multiple items, and then pushing the one that works.
Yes.
If it's a younger audience, where are we going to be?
Instagram, TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? So I think the problem is failure is just a way of winning. It's a part of success.
It's got to move you forward. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. It's how you eliminate options, the way I see it.
Absolutely.
Just like rejection. That's how you know who's not a perfect fit for you.
Absolutely.
But you got to put yourself out there and figure out to see who's going to be there. Cool.
Until they see Charles blow up and become this huge star, all of a sudden they think they're the perfect fit now. All of a sudden,
let's see.
He's rolling around in his Lamborghini. The calls are gonna be happy. Hey, you remember me? Oh yeah, I remember you.
You need to stop. We'll see where it goes from then. But we've talked a lot in here, Sky. I really appreciate your time. I think you've added a lot of value. I'd like to continue more, but also value your time, and you have your own things going on as well. So let's pivot a little bit into what's going on. You've talked about what's going to happen, what you're excited for in the next couple of years even, right? Now, for anybody reaching out, like, I guess if they wanted to work with you, I mean, obviously you've mentioned where they can find your restaurant, your liquor store as well. For anybody who do want to reach out to you, collaborate with you, or do other stuff, like, how are some things they can work with you?
Well, I love helping the community and helping people. I'm an open book. If somebody wants to chop it up, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. Skysunner.com. Cool. If you go to SKYSUNNER.com, all my social medias, all my links, all the stuff that I'm on is on there. And I'm here to work with people, collaborate, do some cool stuff. One of the cool things that we do at the store is we have other creators, other local entrepreneurs that come in and then do drinks with us, and we get to highlight them, right? I'm all about highlighting my community. So if anyone's listening to this podcast, you want to be a part of it, hit us up at We Deliver Liquor. Jump on a video with us. If you like cocktails, you like drinks, you like beer, whatever it is, you like beef jerky. We got some of the best beef jerky in town. We can do a video on that. Yeah, man. Oh,
I gotta check that out.
Some fire, bro.
Okay,
you gotta come by, check it out.
Hey, I'm already motivated to go, so I'm gonna make a trip out there. Cool. And then for anybody listening, any last words you want to voice out?
Be who the fuck you really are. Be who you are, and don't let anybody change that.
There we go.
No matter what you're doing, if you're true to yourself, people will see it, people will feel it, and success will follow.
Yeah, love that. Couldn't have said it better. Cool. Well, thank you for taking the time out here, Sky. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode as much as me listening. Yeah, thank you again, Sky.
Hey, thank you, and I appreciate everyone out here listening, and respect the hustle, brother. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I want to see, in 180 days where you're at.
Dude, I'm excited for that too. I want to see where that goes out.
Hey, keep it up, brother. It's an inspiration. I mean, even to me, like seeing what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
Like it's cool. It's dope.
Thank you.
You're letting people in, and you're being real.
Yeah.
So keep it up, and I'm gonna keep watching your journey. Keep listening to your journey, brother.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Sky.
Take care, bro.
All right, guys. For anybody listening in, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Hey, voice community, are you or do you know anybody that is looking to brand them and voice themselves out even more? On this voice podcast, we're always looking for more candidates to voice out with interesting stories, powerful stories that are needed to be shared and amplified. We have a candidate list if you're looking to hop on the show, whether through Zoom or in person. We prefer in person because the content is much better, and would love to see how we can collaborate. So go ahead and click the link below, and we can potentially include this individual or individuals to be part of the next show.